What's up, my pretties? It's the Queen of Lions here, and today, welcome to another episode of Shadows and Pretties. So today we're at episode 126. I am going to be doing a Shadows and Pretties episode on a different, I guess you could say a different type of movie that I did not, expect to do, but I decided why not go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna be doing, one of my childhood favorite movies from when I was a kid, made by Disney, called The Brave Little Toaster. Now, most of you guys who were kids, maybe in the 80s and 90s, you probably remember watching this on VHS. Even some people who remember growing up in the early 2000s might have remembered having this on VHS as well. So, I know they developed other movies such as The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue. That one came out in 1997. And The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, which that one came out in 1998. But I'll be talking about those in separate videos and separate episodes of Shadows and Pretties, because the video would be extremely long if I were to sit there and go through them. But I decided, you know what, I'll take the time to review the first movie, and yeah. Now, anyways, this movie came out in 1987. It's a pretty good movie. I mean, yeah, it's a one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. Like, I used to have this on VHS when I was younger. And this movie is a animated musical film adapted from the 1980 novel The Brave Little Toaster by Thomas M. Dysart. This Dysart or something. I promise if I can't pronounce it correctly. I do apologize, but I'll kind of talk about a little bit of the I guess I'll talk about the the novel of it but after I do the movie, because I'm going to talk about and giving a refresher of the movie, just in case if any of you guys haven't seen the movie in like years and probably will need a refresher. Anyways, let us begin. Now, I'm going to talk about the whole movie, so warning, there is going to be spoilers, and I will be mostly spoiling every single part of this movie. So if you do not want to hear any of this, then I highly recommend you click off the video if you don't want any spoilers and go see the movie. I mean, you're not going to regret this movie. So, yeah. Of course, this takes place in a wooden cottage known as a peaceful woodland cottage, where 5 members of a clan of small electric appliances, such as a toaster, a radio, a lamp, which the stand named Lampy, an electric blanket named Blanky, and a vacuum cleaner known as Kirby. They await for a return of a young boy named Rob, who they refer to as the Master, who they used to vacation at the cottage with his family. But the family has not come by in many years, so one day, upon seeing that the cottage was about to be sold, the appliances decided they would venture out and find Rob themselves. They turned to Kirby, who is a long tractor attaching to a rolling office chair, and they power up a strip of a Junko car battery for a power source for him to travel via. Kirby and radio serves as navigators by pointing the group towards urban radio signals as they pick up. So along their way in the journey, the appliances have numerous harrowing adventures. At one point, when their battery is nearly dead, the group stops for the night in the forest, with Blanky serving as a makeshift tent. During that night, a storm blows Blanky up into the trees, and Lampy uses himself as a lightning rod to recharge the battery. After recovering, Blanky and the appliances try to cross the waterfall, but everyone except Kirby falls in the water below. When Kirby dives in and rescues the others, but the chair and the strip and battery is lost, the group resorts into pulling disabled Kirby through the swamp. They are almost swallowed up by quicksand, but are saved by Elmo St. Peter's and taken to his appliance part store, where they witness dismantling the blender to sell his motor to the customer. When radio is about to be taken apart for radio tubes, the other frightened St. Peter's pretends to be a ghost. With St. Peter's unconscious, the group escapes and they make their way basically into the city. So Rob is now a young adult who goes out to the cottage with his girlfriend Chris to retrieve the appliances to take with them to college. But when the group arrives at Rob's apartment, their newer appliances resentful about Rob about to take the older appliances instead of themselves, demonstrating how much more technology they advance and how they throw the group into the dumpster. So Rob and Chris return home empty-handed, but an old black and white television in the apartment, a friend of 5 appliances who formerly resided with them at the cottage, plays fictional advertisements for the junkyard and the appliances have been taken to, in hopes that Rob and Chris will go there to find them. So at the junkyard, the appliances disappointed that Rob apparently no longer needs them, and they're picked up by a large electromagnet, and they are about to be destroyed by a crusher. Sure, when they see Rob in the junkyard, they believe that he might still need them after all. They take numerous attempts to escape, but the magnet places themselves on Rob so he can have them. When the magnet picks up a whole pile of junk and spreads around the conveyor belt leading to the crusher, separate from the group, Rob spots the appliances except for Toaster on the conveyor belt, but the magnet picks up Rob as well as the appliances and drops them onto the belt. Toaster jumps into the crusher's gears and jams them, stopping the crusher before it flattens Rob and the others. Back in the apartment, Rob repairs a mangled toaster as he and Chris soon depart for college with all flying appliances in tow, and the movie ends. Now, I'm gonna have to say it's a really great story. It was pretty dark at times, especially with the junkyard scene and all that. But the rights of the films were acquired by Disney in 1982 too. So that was before Disney made the movie. So, the voice acting is pretty good. Like Carl Ravenscroft as, Kirby the Vacuum. We have certain people who plays as, we have, Deanna Oliver, who is the Brave Little Toaster. There's a lot of good characters and developments of all these characters. I've actually really like how all the characters went out. Like, certain characters actually were pretty interesting for what they were. They even have, different developments and, for certain characters. Now, the rights of the Brave Little Toaster original novel by Thomas M. Dist were then purchased by Walt Disney Studios in 1982, 2 years after the appearance of the magazine of fantasy science fiction, which I don't know what that is. So John Lasseter and Clem Kane had finished a 2D, 3D test film book based on Where the Wild Things Are. So, yeah. The writing of it began working sometime in 1986 when they developed, the storyline for it, and basically the animation was pretty good of it, as well as, the songs, the music, and the sounds. They're really amazing and well made in detail. They had a really good characters for what they are. I like how the whole songs and everything and the music. You could really say if you were a kid in the 90s, you probably remember this movie, on VHS, and you probably, if you were a kid in the early mid 2000s, you probably have watched it on DVD. So there's definitely that. The Brave Little Toaster movie was pretty good. Now, since I went with the movie, I'm just basically gonna go with the book and talk about the book a little bit, but not gonna go too much into detail on the book because it's basically kind of the same thing, but there might be some, differences in this book. Now, the book is basically the same thing, however, though there is a lot of different things. Now, in this one, there are other, they have personalities, such as, Kirby, who is, the vacuum cleaner, Radio is the alarm clock, and all that. Of course, the appliances have, grown to seasonal use. Some of the Master's other appliances, and that's, that's actually they were not in this movie, but they were actually, in there, such as the white television set, the blender, the oral integrator, the telephone, the stereo system. I mean, the word clock. I mean, there's like other lot of things that it took a development when it came to the movie. I mean, the book is basically pretty much different from how this really was. I mean, yeah, it's basically the same thing as the book, but although there are some major differences, such as the appliance search for their lost caster, the blanket discovers a boat, which the Hoover declares that they'll use to cross the river. I mean, there's like a lot of different things that really like came to be when it came to this concept. Now, so basically, almost everything is basically the same, except there were some differences in the book that the movie didn't really incorporate because they didn't really think that it was suitable, or they didn't think that it would work out that great. I mean, yeah, sure, there are parts of it that actually had a really good, good in concept, but however, though, when I did notice that with the city dump, the dump it's likened with the graveyard affection, but I mean, I've never read the book, but I could definitely say the ending of it is kind of different compared to how the movie really was. I mean, it didn't really end at the junkyard, it ended with something else. I mean, it's a good story. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty good story for what this one really is. Now, of course, they had other book series such as, well, yeah, Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars and all that. I mean, it's a pretty good concept for what this is. So, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and say I really don't know the book that well. I mean, I kind of might consider reading the book if I ever have the opportunity to do so, but I would have to say the book itself is actually has a really amazing concept for what it is. Yes, I know it kind of is similar to the same, but of course that is actually pretty good for what it is. Now, of course, the switches chronically in the set of two books, which is what the books mainly to be. Of course, that's just me, but yeah. Okay, I guess I'm with that being the case and with that being said, that's just all I have to say about the Brave Little Toaster. Now, I will talk about Go to the Rescue, Goes to Mars, maybe in the next film, well, maybe in the next movie, or next video. Like the next time I do like a Shouts and Praise episode, I will talk about the other two Brave Little Toaster movies. But for now, I just wanted to talk about the first one because most of you guys probably have seen it when you were a kid. Like, I personally liked it as a kid. I'm sure most of you guys have. So, anyways, what did you guys think about this movie personally? If you like it, that's perfectly cool. If you don't like the movie, that's understandable too, because I respect that it's your opinion. Like, feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comments below on this movie, because I like to hear what your thoughts are on it. And as always, I guess I'll be seeing you in the next video. So I'll see you guys next time, and as always, I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.